Wanda wa miamba, samaki wa kumwaga, Tanzania Mwanza.
Lake Victoria. The heartbeat of Africa and the pride of Kisumu City is immense in size, personality, history, and culture.
This festival is going to address a lot of conservation issues so that as we are using the lake, we also want to ensure that we are preserving and we are protecting the lake so that it is not choked.
We also have women's workshop and fishermen's workshop that have been going on at Ogal Beach, where we are training these women and the fisher folks about fair fishing techniques, how to conserve our lake, our heritage, something that should be attractive for domestic and international tourism.
Most recently, we had the Kanda La Ziwa platform that brought together communities around Lake Victoria, Kanda La Ziwa, which means the shoreline belt, to sit down with their leaders, artists, fisher folks, and the families that live around Lake Victoria to look at the issues that the lake is facing because their livelihoods is actually affected.
I'm here to collaborate with NAAM Festival on this Kanda La Ziwa Peoples Meeting, modeled after the Peoples Meeting on Bornholm, in order to start a conversation about Lake Victoria and talk about the different perspectives that people can have on conservation and preservation and protection.
Namlolwe, Nyanza Lake or Nalubaya Lake, the world's largest tropical lake, is shared by Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania.
Justice for Lake Victoria Forum was also a very, very important journey because that's when I saw the importance of global solidarity, that the Lake Victoria issue is not just about East Africa, it's about water security.
We wanted to mobilize people to create an awareness of owning the lake and cleaning the lake.
NAAM's global solidarity campaign, #MyLakeMyFuture, sprang from East Africa, taking the lake conservation narrative to Asia and South America at Lake Velayani in Kerala, south of India, and Lake Titicaca in Puno, Peru, Bolivia border.
Part of our influence is obviously that NAAM Festival has been involved in both Bornholm, the People's Meeting, and the convening of the PDF in Nairobi, and now extending that to the Lakeside region with the Lakeside Peoples Meeting that is geared towards protection of Lake Victoria.
This lake is threatened by encroachment, fishing conflicts, and environmental degradation. Over 350 fish species have disappeared due to climate change, pollution, the Nile perch predator fish, and overfishing.
Long ago, there were times where fishing was banned so that the lake could be left alone to regenerate, the fish to find their way to the shallow waters and the wetlands, to lay their eggs and, let the waters breathe. And our forefathers knew this. They didn't need, some complex laws to make sure that this time it's time for banning commercial fishing so that the lake can regenerate. Close beneficiaries are artists who we have actually trained to break down complex issues of climate change through art. This is in theater, this is in visual arts, this is in even the content they generate in film or the content they generate in their music.
The NAAM Festival is a creative activism arts advocacy platform running the #Justice for Lake Victoria campaign for awareness and restoration of an ecosystem millions depend on.
I do mostly mixed media kind of art. This is a type where I mix different stuff, mostly metal.
Artist movement is the new frontier for the struggle for human rights. I've been in a lot of places where I am shocked that a lot of human rights activists don't seem to understand this point. When there is a meeting and there is somebody who sings or is Mufasa or is Javan the poet, in the program, they are listed as entertainment, which means we don't hear what they are saying.
Tumetoka kwenye bahari Hindu, unaona, Indian Ocean, alafu tumekuja ichanganya na ziwa Nyanza. So kimi binafsi, most of my music ni conscious driven na inspiring, unaona, kwa generation. So mimi katika tutaje ankali zangu ama maandishi yangu ama katika nyimbo zangu nyingi inakuwa kwamba najaribu kufunza jamii na kukanya na kuweza kuongoza katika maadili mabovu.
Its long-term objective while engaging communities around vital water bodies is to see clean, swimmable, drinkable, and fishable rivers and lakes through empathy, influence.
Art is not a tool that can just be whisked away in today's development sector. It is a powerful tool that can influence, educate, and communicate effectively the issues we face and give details of the solutions we can get.
For me, the work is still on. The greatest task is to inform and educate most of the people around, which seems to be the hardest. Slowly people are catching up, and we are a society who can get and see where the future lies. So I'm hopeful.
Turning pollution problems into opportunities through creative solutions such as waste to art. The campaign calls for a shift from profit to prosperity.
How do we go about making sure that the waste management of Kenya is dealt with so that you don't have all the pollution in the street, or you don't have the Lake Victoria being polluted as we have seen before?
Other meaningful partners include the Kisumu County Government and Flexi Biogas, an organization with a network of equal resource centers across several locations, including Ngong, Kajiado County, and Dunga Beach in Kisumu.
At Dunga Beach, we collect solid waste. We sort them out as part of solid waste management. Some will come to the biogas, that's the organic, which is less fibrous. Others, like plastic glasses, will go for recycling, reuse, and some will be shredded for interlocking brick making process.
We also try to teach around the Dunga Beach community segregation.
There is no separation of litter. We have metal, we have glasses, we have plastics in the same place. So there is no separation. So sometimes when you burn, probably the plastic is what gets burned. We want to adopt the example of Kisumu. Kisumu has a litter truck, kind of a trailer that can be pulled. And they also do dustbin separation.
This is one of the filing centers. It's managed by Flexigas. All the bottles you see here and the cans, and most of the waste is actually coming from the Dunga Hill community.
Coca-Cola Kenya and Coca-Cola East Africa have come on board, and today most plastics are being picked and are being taken to the West Bank to bottle back Desani.
3 meters high. It's a sculpture of a guy on a boat. It's called Jalupo. He's lupoing from the Lake Victoria, and his survival is threatened by the activities which go around the lakes.
To protect the lake against pollution, that is also giving it justice. And therefore, it means that the conversations that we have had right from the initial dialogues meeting is about being consistent. We don't know
olokore kata gik moko bende manie bende otimore nade olokore to nikech kaka namwanite walokruok nyoa ok wang'e maber.
Otuodo be ung'eyo dongo neno kaka tindo ng'eny, koro mana kaka mama owacho en lokruok mar gik matimore e piny. climate change. Winyi nitiere matinde okonegwe. Samoro okong'e to nitie matinde okone.
The people can speak in the manner they want because of the present challenges that Lake Victoria is experiencing, which is the undoing of the local communities backed up by a reckless, administration. And what we need to do is to communicate sustainably about why the local communities need the lake more than the lake needs them.
Art thus becomes a cutting-edge tool combined with dialogue as executed by the NAAM Festival to speak of the plight of Lake Victoria and endangered waterways culture.
Justice for Lake Victoria, for me, is a statement that we need to live in harmony with our nature and treat our nature as a resource that actually can be depleted and can be destroyed.
Hashtag Justice for Lake Victoria also means we all must stand up and speak for Nairobi River and Lakes Naivasha, Bogoria, Nakuru, Tanganyika, Malawi, Tana. All these planet resources are endangered.
The department has a clear marketing strategy called Kisumu My Pride, which is meant to bring out the best of Kisumu to the world.
Kanda La Ziwa. It is a new regional dialogue forum and people's meeting platform that happens in the morning hours of the 3-day Lakeside NAAM Festival.
Ini mali yetu. Na tukiharibu hii mali, tutafanya wapi biashara? Now we are also looking at opening up the lake. Traditionally, most people were looking at fishing, basically fishing. But now you can see the mass transportation, there is cargo, there is sport activities in the lake. And now we are also looking at leisure. So this lake is a serious symbol of unity.
Fishing hiyo ya muda nimekuja ya engine. Naona vile natoa hiyo oil na huyu tayari kutoka kutoa samaki hapa kwa boat. Utaona kama ng'ombe zinapupu tu. Mvua ikinyesha zitarudi kwa le? Zinarudi kwa le. Sasa tunaona hapa ni hospitali. Mtu yako chini ya mtu anatoka hosi. Maybe hosi currently hata wajakuwa napanga kujenga choo. Sasa utakaenda short call. Utakuwa short call hapo chini ya mti.
At the grassroots level, where there's the county, people are talking to that county, and that's something that is in the constitution. Okay, you have devolved governments and devolved political power, and the constitution talks about public participation. It talks about people having the sovereign power, which they delegate to the county governments and the national government. So here you have a project that is breathing life, into the constitution.
There has been so much sand harvesting that has literally cleared the fish breeding sites. Many of us will tell that fish stocks have gone down, and that is why we have fish importation.
Sometimes we are blaming ourselves, but we don't have control on the fertilizers used upstream. We are also blaming ourselves here in Kisumu, but we don't have control of the whole Nyanza belt. What can bring us together? The policy, enacting this policy together, so that with the vision of protecting Lake Victoria and other, we call them the basin ecosystem.
I told my son I'm coming to Kisumu and I'm coming to clean the beach and I'm coming to plant trees. Na kaniuliza sasa mama, hata hiyo mti sasa hiyo ukipanda, by the time hata unaweza kukaa chini ya hiyo mti hata utakuwa umekufa kabla hiyo mti ikue. Nikamwambia sometimes you don't do it for you. Even the people who fought for our freedom did not enjoy that freedom, right? But here we are.
sani ching rieni moro mapok no timre nade mapok no duogo ane to kata mine mamatindo gi man gi nyithindo obro neno ka nitie kabit tuoche moko mabende sani usie mana ni wacho climate change.
Something is amiss and solutions are actually within our own hands to begin acting different, to look at things differently and play our individual roles to make a difference.
Nilikuwa najua ni fresh water. Hata kutumia iko sawa. But ukikuja ukitumia kuna ile steam fulani unasikia. Hata ukitumia kuchemsha uoge scam inatoa ni tofauti na kuja greenish hivi. Hadi nilikuwa nadhani watu wakiwasko maybe wana release wastage yao kwa ndani.
Iyo doka kata chon nitie seche makoth ne timre nade ne chwe. Mano ing'eya ni kata kitimri nade kipuro to mae seche monego bed ni ikomo. Lakini gikawuono inyalo rito ni kom makoth no timre nade bende bai.
When you have increase in population, that puts a lot of pressure on a resource like our lake and many other resources. I can give you an example let me say, like Kakamega Forest is the only Guinea Congolian tropical rainforest. There's a lot of pressure in terms of population, but there are ways to go around it. And if we can get people, like we have this project where you utilize the forest without bringing it down.
The first radical thing is to rename Lake Victoria to Lake Nyanza, possibly to build the ownership of the local communities, because there is meaning in names, and that ownership and connectedness can be reinvigorated by the communities connecting to the indigenous names.
Saying that this lake should be renamed, there is no way you're not going to discuss colonialism and our independence, and the question of what independence means, what decolonization means, and why is it that they shouldn't be talking about their lake. The lake is still owned by, the British, Queen Victoria.
We look forward to working with government, both at the county and the national government, and with communities at the center to ensure that we conserve and preserve our lake and ensure that we can manage waste. But whilst at it, we look forward to making money through the different other avenues which can work so that we don't overwork the lake and kill it.
It's really important that you have that dialogue, both between the 5 counties of Kenya, but also between the 3 countries that share the shores of Lake Victoria. If Kenya and Uganda are doing the right thing and they are making sure that the pollution levels are going down and that there's no plastic waste in the lake, etc., it will not help anything if Tanzania is not on board.
Over time, other partnerships created during NAAM festivals include Dunga Hill Entertainment and Ecotourism Camp, promoting circular living and leisure, and Kefeado, the Kenya Female Advisory Organization for Gender Empowerment.
Alwora wawegi mwaketh alwora kendwa. Ka wanyalo luwo puonj mwago kaegi, to wanyalo bedo jogo ma orito alwora yo makare. Gima dhi timo mokwongo ni wadhi temo mondo wa mobilize jowa, mondo wabedi kodgi kanyakla achiel, mondo wa share kodgi gik mwago e puonjni.
Environment is natural. The access issues, the quality issues, and are human rights, fundamental human rights issues, and they can only be articulated fairly, transparently, accountably when people are sitting around the table and dialoguing, and that is democracy.
Ziwa ndo pride ya Kisumu na Kenya na Afrika kwa jumla. Tujali mazingira, tusafishe Lake Victoria. Kalamoto NAAM Festival.